Hello, my name is Angel. I'm 31, and since it is Disability Pride Month, and last month was uh, like Queer Pride Month, like LGBTQ plus Pride Month, um, I wanted to do it last month, but I was going through a lot of grief, and even still, I'm like going through a lot of grief, but because I don't want to do the grief journey alone, and even though I'm being encouraged by my psychiatrist to go to like in person groups and try to find friends, I'm gonna do what I normally do and go online first because that's just what feels safer to me. I can curate myself a little bit better because I don't have a personality yet, and that is a big part of my trauma. And considering I just got a diagnosis for autism, um, and that's a disability. Like, I'm disabled, you know? I'm disabled, and I'm also queer and like other marginalized things, you know? And my psychiatrist thinks that my, my, what's the word? My perspective and my insight is pretty unique, and um, I also agree, but I feel like when I was littler, like when I was like a teenager, I thought thinking that way, thinking of myself as like an interesting person with unique like life experiences, because that's basically the few core parts of me that like really haven't changed. But I think because that seems like such a self-obsessed like kind of way to view yourself, I guess, I don't know. And someone has made better connections than me about how like self-confidence in female presented people. Okay, my dogs needed to stretch out and knock my shit over, I guess. Let's see, I have to like completely. Ooh, not too bright. Razzie, you guys are so nosy. They both want to be up here. Okay. I guess my heartbeat was getting fast and I needed to calm down because they also tend to do that. But basically, like, I have a lot of good coping skills, but also bad coping skills because no one taught me shit. Like, my whole life, I was kind of just left to do shit on my own because that's how my grandma was raised and my grandpa was raised and my mom was like everyone in my family has been left to fend for themselves their whole entire lives. So for whatever freaking reason they decided, yeah, let's keep that shit going. And not only that, it's not it's not even like they did that and then stayed in the place that they knew and could give me the advice at least to survive there in the place that they've been in. They're like, no, let's go survive somewhere else with, and we have no experience, and we're just gonna let this other person, me, have this ginormous like burden of being someone so different and so intersectional, like, you know. And like at least for them, they're just Mexican, and like, yeah, they're Mexicans with like probably disabilities that they don't want to talk about, but like they can have a community within themselves of like, yeah, we hide shit, ha ha ha, blah blah blah. And like then it's like I like bring shit up to them. Like I was talking to my psychiatrist about this. I'm like, I know that as soon as I bring up to my mom, like, hey, by the way, I got diagnosed with autism, she's gonna be like, oh yeah, like they told me something about that when you were younger, but like I just ignored them. Cause that's how they are. That's how my mom is. That's how my grandparents are. Like the fact that my mom, um, when I had appendicitis, you know, she thought I was like being dramatic, and she's like, "Oh, it's just your period," and stuff like that. Until I like started just like turning gray from like the loss of blood and stuff, and like it was a lot. But you know, my family's the kind of people that even though they're disabled, and even though they should be happy that they have such an ability to at least And that's saying something so stupid because like our healthcare sucks. But at least here, like they'll try to figure shit out. You know, I'm sure in other places it's gone way better than us, honestly. And shout out to my grandpa because he moved back to Mexico after me begging him to do that since like the first time Trump was president. Um, but let's see if we can convince my grandma, maybe my mom, definitely my aunties. You know, I feel like just my whole family should go over there because it's just too much over here right now. And I'm saying that as like the most marginalized one in my family, and like it's just weird, you know, because like I have a cousin who's like half white, and I'm Mexican like all the way. I was just born here, like you know, my dad's Mexican, my mom's Mexican, and uh, my cousin who his dad's white, and my aunt who's my mom's sister. Um, Obviously she's Mexican, but I tell them I'm like, it's crazy how people would tell me I'm white, and like I stand next to you and you're obviously white. Like I don't, and I think that's like one of the things that like messed with my brain when I was little, is like I thought people's perception of me was reality. Like I didn't know that like people are gonna think things about you, and like that's just not true. You can't let people tell you what you are. It's up to you to figure yourself out. And the fact that people had permission to figure themselves out, which like as you can see that's a fucked up way of thinking, you know, but my mom convinced me that I needed permission for everything. Drinking water, grabbing food out of my own house, you know, like sometimes even permission to be sick, because I was such a sickly child. I used to have like consistent ear infections, which apparently a lot of that happens to a lot of autistic people. So I had so many consistent ear infections that I'm like 75% deaf in this ear because it my eardrum ruptured. Cool fact about me. And but I think I'm gonna limit this to 10 minutes. Um, and maybe I'll do like, or I guess because it's gonna go on YouTube, I don't know how long people would be willing to watch like a vertical video. Um, because I need to see myself to focus. I used to, because I was alone. I'm an only child, and my mom was constantly working, which you know, valid. She had to take care of me, take care of herself, and also take care of like her parents, which is fucked up because like they don't help me or my mom in any way. Like, but we were always expected to help them. And honestly, my mom's the most disabled out of her three sisters, and that's saying something because my other aunt has like full like I think it's like full type 2 diabetes, I think. No, type 2 is the one with the like where you would like inject yourself after you eat, right? Yeah, because I think that's what my aunt has. Um, but anyways, my mom is not an emotionally stable person. She can manage to have a job like basically a part-time job. She's kind of like me, but like I ended up more fucked up because I forced myself to do full time. I forced myself to then do part time, but I was also going to school or trying to, and like, and then I ended up homeless. So it's like his little face is so cute. I know he's just like hot. Oh my stinker! Can you move, please? You're gonna fall off the table. No, my gosh. he laid down. Okay. Yeah, it's not even my dog, it's my partner's dog. But considering my dog recently died, um, he's like, he's like 17, I think. Anyways, I'm all over the place. So, according to my diagnosis, by the way, my official diagnosis is level 1 autism, with persistent childhood trauma, or like consistent or something like that. Like it's major enough where it's affecting me and like disabling me from getting jobs and like doing stuff. And it's very true. I'm like in full burnout right now. Which is why I figured, why not? Let's just make videos, because like I feel like this is all I really can do, is kind of just like verbalize my feelings, I guess. better at writing than I am at talking, because sometimes my brain tries to do shortcuts and it comes out weird, and like, and me and my friend were talking about this. They told me that like I said something to them when we were at the beach, or like on our way to the beach, that like it kind of came out weird, where it was like I said something like, oh, our we deserve to go through our trauma or something like that, which like that's a fucked up thing to say. But I think what I was trying to say, and I explained it to them afterwards too, which like I don't even think that's what I said, but I something like that, you know. But the point is that I'm so burnt out that like it's getting harder and harder for me to like keep up with my daily activities as a human, you know. And not only that, like if I just exist the way I've been existing, I'm never gonna know anything other than like how to be alive. Like, you know, like that feels like such a, not a childish thing, but it's like if you can only keep yourself alive, that's like some 18, 19-year-old shit. Like, you know, once you're past 25, people expect like you're attempting to get a job or attempting to do something with your life, you know. And like I'm not one of those people, or I never saw myself as one of those people where like, and I guess that's the good thing about my trauma. And this is what me and my friend were talking about, you know. It's like I think I was trying to get to say that it's like my trauma turned me into this person that I appreciate, even though the way I got here was fucked up, because I probably would have ended up here anyways, because that's just who I am. That's what I was trying to say. But I shortcutted it, you know. And like that's not how life works. Like in my brain it works, because I'm trying to like save space for good memories, whatever. And so we figured that out, me and my friend. And then my therapist too, they were telling me, well, this was before I had to stop being with that therapist, because I'm just not good at talking with elderly people. I feel like I'm always lying to them, and that's definitely like a trauma response. I feel like I'm more open and honest with younger people, probably because I want them to understand me, because I want to understand myself, you know. So anyways, so like I wanna, okay, I'm bordering on like 13 minutes. I'm just gonna keep going until I feel like I don't know what to talk about anymore. But so today I talked to my psychiatrist, right? Not my therapist, because I told my therapist I can't work with her anymore because she's elderly. And it's not like a discrimination thing, it's literally a trauma response thing. Like I can't keep going to therapy and straight up lying because I want her to be proud of me. Like, you know, it's like it's genuinely fucked up, because every one of my therapists has said that I'm very self-aware, and that's an autism thing, honestly. But I'm only self-aware because the communication needs to be clear so people understand what I'm actually trying to say when I say that I don't know what's going on. Not because I don't know what's going on, but because like I don't understand how people can be so normal, and like I'm trying, you know. And like thankfully this kind of verbiage and like language, and like thanks to my years of studying how to speak and shit like that, you know, and like really adjusting myself to the kind of communication people expect from me, which is why I speak so eloquently. And you know, like people would say, especially like, and I'm good at like code switching, right? But it's like people would say like, why do you talk like that? And it's like, oh, well, I just want people to understand me. But it's like I get why I'm also isolating myself, because it's like kids don't talk like that. You know, like I sounded like a fucking 40-year-old at like 12, and like that shit was weird. And like, and it's also because I had to read like law documents and shit, and like translate to my mom about like which schools were the best at like fucking 9 years old and shit. Like what the fuck? I would not expect my child to know what school is the best for them based off of demographics and shit, and like, Jesus Christ, like, imagine a 9-year old having to explain to their parent what redlining is. Like, like, my brain hurts. Which explains my substance abuse problems, like why I became an alcoholic and shit like that. Like, it's like I've lived so many lives and I'm only 31. But the only life I haven't lived is like mine, like, and thankfully the autism diagnosis validated me, and my psychiatrist validates me on, it seems like people love my trauma responses, except for me. People love that one of my trauma responses is to just be nice and like say whatever they want to hear, even if it goes against what I'm thinking. People love that I will do anything for them because I'm so desperate for like attention. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna do that now. The few people that like can still like quote unquote take advantage of that is my partner, who I'm married to, and like my child, I guess. But my child wouldn't do that, because that's the thing, is that, and that's my trauma response, is like, I believe my mom's dumbass lies about children being manipulative and me being manipulative, even though if you slap a 9-year-old out of nowhere, of course they're gonna fucking cry. And then when you tell them stop crying or I'm gonna beat your ass, of course they're gonna attempt to stop crying. And just because I was good at it, just because I could disassociate very well and like listen good or whatever the fuck, but then I'm not supposed to listen like that. I'm supposed to act more human or like whatever the fuck. And like, it's just a lot where there was so many contradictions that of course my brain split. Of course, like, what's the word? Of course I ended up having like basically borderline personality disorder and like so much social anxiety and like so much self-awareness on like every single move I do and every single thing I say, because that's the kind of person that insecure, self-interested, because they're isolated, because they also have so much trauma, because they also don't know anything, but they feel like they do know stuff because that's what the church taught them. And like, the church is basically free education. Why do I need to go to school when the church is right there teaching me things? Jesus Christ. I never realized how much religion was involved in my shit. But I basically blame it on Spain. The church in my grandparents' like village thing area, because it's not that big of a city. Like, it's not even a city. It's like, it's not even like a town. It's like a bunch of people. I could walk across it when I was 13, when I went over there. And the only place that was really, really far was the cemetery. And like, we had to actually drive there, like, damn, I'm disassociating low-key. This is when the cats should be around here, but they kind of tend to just be on me when I'm panicking. I when I disassociate, they just kind of just leave me alone, which I feel like that explains a lot of my life. A lot of people think me disassociating is just genuinely how I am. It's sad. I live a sad life, but it's only sad because there's no one here, like, in me, existing in this life. I'm just a shell of a person, because like, no one gave me the chance. No one even told me that that's not the only thing you can be, like, for reals though, like, movies and like music and like borderline, like, other marginalized people, other abused kids, those are the people that raised me. Kids that like, dude, I remember one of these, I don't even want to talk about that kid, but like, and like, Oh my gosh. And then another one of my friends, I saw him, and like clearly like the opioids had gotten to him, you know, and like it's fucked up because I saw myself in that dude. Because we would smoke together, you know, we would do shit together, and it's like drinking that young, you know, shit is fucked up. Shit is fucked up. But you think people are gonna make it, like you, like, and I want to make it, you know, I want to make it because I want another kid like me, another kid that's like, oh my god, I'm doing life wrong, I'm wrong, like if I don't fix myself, like I'm never gonna be happy, you know. And the fucked up thing is, even though I didn't know shit about myself, I still had happy moments, you know. There are moments that did build a little person inside of me, and that little person really wants to grow up now. And like this is what my psychiatrist was talking about. She like loves the way I talk, and I was telling her how like I want to write a book because I know like the way I talk is the way I write, and it is beautiful. I see things in myself that like I'm glad survived, because like they really tried to beat me down, you know. They really tried to convince me that I'm the worst person in the world. And it turns out, oh, you just fucking hate autistic people. Or you saw like the autistic innocence or the autistic like sense of wonder. You know, because I really was a child. Like a like like the people who had sex with me at 18 and 19, that should have been counted as statutory, because like I was a child mentally. And like I think back then I looked like a little kid because I tried very hard to not look like a little kid. And the fucked up thing is when I was a little kid, I looked like a quote unquote grown woman because I had like triple D's as like a 12-year old. But I would wear like clothes that were too big for me because you, the child, has to protect yourself from grown-ups, because grown-ups can't control themselves. Like, you know, it was really fucked up, the shit I learned as a young child. And like people that I meet always say like, wow, you're so wise for your age, wow, you're so like, you've had so many experiences, oh shit, your life's like a fucking movie. But it's like, yeah, because you guys only know trauma and like scary things as like scary movies and shit. And you guys, and like obviously now the world has changed, you know, which is why like I know that I need help. I know I need help to like change my perception of people, to not be so scared of people, you know, like because yeah, some people are still stuck in high school, but like most people are grown-ups now. I can see it. I can see it online. I can see it in person. And I want to go up to them and be like, "Hi. Will you give me a chance?" You know, like fuck, I don't want to cry because I used to cry a lot on the internet when I was younger because that's all I had. I didn't know, you know. And when I knew that like some people get off to girls crying, some people get off to like people having meltdowns and shit like that, and it's so fucked up. And not only that, like it's like some people like pity watch you and make fun of you, and like it's like this cruel duality in my brain that I understand both the neurotypical side, the disabled side. I have a very open worldview. I learned a lot. And yet, and I tell my partner this, and I tell my therapist this, and I tell everyone this, I feel so small. And it's not because I'm 4'11. It is because what is there inside of me other than all these things that that benefit other people? But look at me. Like look at how empty I am. Look at how little and small I am. You could ask me, like, what's your favorite food? And I don't fucking know. You know, I don't enjoy food. I try to survive. And it's so cruel. Like, I know my favorite songs. You know, I know my favorite movies that make me feel good, and like
I have a small collection of books that I'm excited to read, you know, like there's like I said in the earlier, like there's a small little fire burning. And I'm just trying to keep myself alive past. I never thought I'd make it past 18. And then I never thought I'd make it past 21. And then I got pregnant at 21. And then I thought I'm not going to make it past 25. My kid's like 4. It's stressing me out. I was getting hit with postpartum at that time. They were giving me the wrong medication. They were treating me like I was a drug addict. Because I was going crazy. I was saying, what's wrong with me? I'm doing all the right things. What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with me, you know? Like, nothing's wrong with me. I'm just autistic. And that's okay. Like, you know, like, that's literally fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with being autistic. There's nothing wrong with me. You know, there's nothing wrong with me. The only thing wrong with me is that I never got a chance to get to be anything. You know, like, people got the chance to be like, oh, Mom, I'm really into drawing. Oh, hey, Dad, I like want to be into photography or whatever the fuck. And you know, not everyone had supportive parents, but they knew about college. They knew about, oh, my parents are insecure. Like, imagine not knowing what insecurities are. You know, like, imagine not knowing what a sickness is or a disability. Like those kids that can't even read now. At least I could read and write, but like that was me with like life experiences, you know? Like people would tell me like, "Oh yeah, like I went to the lake," or I went hiking in LA." And I'm like, "You can hike in LA?" And they're like, "What? How do you live here and not know that?" And it's like, I don't know anything. I didn't even know there was a beach. I lived in San Pedro for like 10 years and I didn't know that there was a beach there. Like, I knew there was water, like, but I never saw a way to get to it. And it's just because my mom never knew how to get down there and she never asked anyone. She didn't talk to people. But yet she controlled me, you know. Yet I was supposed to be perfect, you know. Like, she had an idea in her head of what she wanted me to be, but she wasn't going to tell me because I'm supposed to just know. And also, she doesn't want to put expectations on me, but also she has expectations for me. My mom has way worse emotional regulation than me. And like, yes, she's insightful, but clearly not that insightful. And even if she knew something, sometimes she just ignores it because she just doesn't like the answer. It's fucked up, you know, because like I feel like no matter what, I'm gonna do what's best for, well, obviously because I'm a people pleaser, I'm gonna do what's best for the other person. But like now, I also want to do what's best for me. And I know that both things can exist at the same time because I went through so much fucking therapy. I feel like my life exists in groups of 5s, 10s, odd numbers, like, you know, because there was 10 years of me doing therapy. There was 5 years of disassociating, you know. There was 7 years of like brutal like abuse, you know. Like it's so much and it overlaps. And just like tape, like at one point it stops being clear, like because you're overlapping it so many times, and now there's a color, you know. But what's the color of clear, you know? Like, you know, so it's like, and I think there's gonna be people that understand my metaphors. There're gonna be people that understand me fully, and I like that. I hope I reach those people, you know. And if I reach different people, like wrong people, or not like wrong people, but just like the people that feel joy in hurting people like me, people like in my high school where like they took out their insecurities out on me, or they turned me into things that were fun to make fun of because I didn't know any better. It's like, it's so weird. Like, I really did learn the worst things about humanity and the best things about humanity in my 31 years. And I'm ready to learn more. I'm ready to meet more people and, like, not just have my only viewpoints be my bio family and my chosen family. And they're both very similar. You know, there's that thing in therapy where they say, like, sometimes you'll leave one substance abuse issue for another one because you're so busy being happy that you escaped the first one that you don't realize you got yourself into another one. That happens a lot with, like, people who quit drinking to start smoking, you know, like, or people quit smoking to start drinking. I went through both of those, so that's why I use those examples, because, you know, I really can only judge myself, and I'm not even judging myself because I understand why I did those things. That's the self-awareness part. But it's also like, just because I understand doesn't mean I was gonna stop. Like, really, how? He's like, okay, you can stop now. All right, I think I should stop now. I should probably drink some water and clean my bookers and give this baby boy attention. Ow, ow, ow. I love him. I love him so much. Look at his little round ears. Oh, he's chunky. Oh, he's got little paws. Oh, he's little. I love him. He's, how old are you, Razzie? Like 4 years old? I think so. Yeah, because his sister's like 8. No, his sister's like, dang, I don't know how old she is. I have to ask my partner, because she's his cat, even though she likes me more. And this is my cat. Well, technically it's my son's cat, but he's also my cat. He's a big baby. He only listens to me. But anyways, and bro, he really is big. He's borderline a tomcat. Oh, you're the big baby. Oh, you're the big. Anyways, I guess I don't know how to end this. I will say I'm obviously gonna just record more videos and upload them as I feel like it. I don't know, man. It's kind of scary to just post something vulnerable and not vulnerable, because, like, it's not like all of these things are secrets. I feel like a lot of people know this stuff about me, but I've never posted on YouTube, and it's gonna be my first time doing that. And a little nerve-wracking, I guess, but thank you for listening. If you did manage to listen all the way through, like I said, my name is Angel. I'm 31. I have a Substack. I have Instagram. I have Threads. I think that's it. I think those are the 3 things I have. He's so cute. Is that the 3 things I have? Yeah. I mostly like to draw. I used to do very creative makeup. So I might get back into that too. I like loud things sometimes, and sometimes I like quiet things. I like cats. I've rescued a lot of them off the street and kept a lot of them, and given a lot of them away, but not like that. Not like I hated them. Like, this other person lost a cat and probably needed one, or like they always wanted a cat and I needed to get rid of one, you know? And everyone that has taken a cat from me still has their cats, so I think that's a good thing. I think I always pick the right people. Like this guy, I had to keep this guy because look at how itchy he is all the time. He's always biting himself. But he does that because he's nervous. Maybe he has anxiety. We found him as a kitty. These like group of girls came over and they're like, oh, we can't keep this cat because we have a cat. Do you want him? And I was like, heck yeah. Heck yeah. And I think they said they found him under their car or something. I don't know. But he's cute. He just has little bald spots sometimes. I live in a hoarder house, but that is not my hoarding. I try not to show shit like that, though. I try not to show okay. Try to not show shit that's not mine because I already have my own issues. I don't want to involve other people's issues. Other than, like, you know, if their issues affect me, which, like, yeah, his shit affects me, but also my partner is dealing with him because it's his dad, you know? But yeah, my hair is growing out. I don't know if I want to bleach it. I probably should though, because it looks weird. I look like I have frosted tips. I'm gonna bleach my eyebrows once they grow in a little more over here. Because they always grow in fast in the front, but like my tail never comes in fast enough. And then if I buy purple hair dye, then my hair's gonna be purple. Anyway, see how I didn't know how to say bye? Like, I don't know how to end it. I just keep talking. Okay, I'm gonna end it now. Thank you for paying attention to me, or if you see something in me, or if you think I'm interesting, or like if you just want to see where this goes, because I want to see where this goes, you know, like no one knows the future, and I know too much about my past, and I'm not living in the present, so let's do that on this journey. Okay, bye.